how could I not, after these two beautiful songs, come testify? And I've been coming to Barbara's for so many years, and I thought, I haven't been up here for a long time. Most of you know me, but those who don't know me, my name is Lou Hochstatter. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Mary.
And I live in a little community in Elton called Del Webb, and I have 4 grown children, 8 grandchildren, and 10 great-grandchildren. So I'm always praying for one of them or somebody, and I've had so many prayers that have been answered. Starting with my husband, I prayed for him to come back to his faith. The last time he went to confession was when we got married. At this time, it was 42 years ago. And I kept urging him to come to confession, come to church, and he came on Easter and Christmas with the white suit, remember?
Praise God.
And he just went for a show, I think. But anyway, he finally came, and then we had a mission at our church, and he just loved the priest that gave the mission. And he said, oh, I wish we had priests like this all the time. And I said, well, why don't you come to church more often? Why don't you go to confession? He said, well, get me there. So the following Saturday, I made sure he went to confession. My husband owned a beauty salon in the South Palatine in St. Teresa's churches, right by his salon there. So the day he was going to confession, the whole salon, all the customers knew about it. Richard's going to confession, go to confession. Walls are going to come down. So it was just a joyous moment for everybody. So he finally came back to confession and went to Mass and communion, and he's been going ever since. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I learned a lesson by this. I learned that to pray, you have to pray constantly, and you have to be persevering and have the faith. You just can't say a couple Hail Marys and ask for a couple intentions. Like I told you, I've been praying for 42 years. And the lesson I got out of this is you got to have faith and keep praying. Get on your knees and pray and ask God. God will never abandon you. He'll never say no. He'll be there for you. And after 42 years, I learned the lesson of not to give up, trust in Him, and I got on my knees. I learned how to pray, so that was my lesson. I started coming to Barbara's services in 1985. I heard about her healing services, and of course, my sister and I were very curious. So we came to the service. It was at Sacred Heart Pius Church in Lombard. And it was a big auditorium, and every Sunday she had healing services. And I would go rain or shine or sleet or snow, I was there every Sunday. They were beautiful services, which they still are. I didn't mean that. But anyway, I was just so impressed. I'm like magnetized. And first time I went there, they were playing, Gene Ruba was playing these beautiful songs like you heard today. And I said, oh my gosh, and I got so excited and so touched, I was crying. And I thought I was crying because I was Catholic. And Barbara says, you were touched with the Holy Spirit. It was tears of joy. So I was very touched going to the services. And that evening, Barbara came out and she was going to start praying over us. And like I said, the auditorium was very big. There was a line this side and a line on that side. I was standing over here on this side. My sister was standing on the other side. And Barbara was up on the platform. And she was getting ready to lay hands on everybody. And after she gave her talk, she says, I'm organizing a pilgrimage to Medjugorje. And this was August of 1985. I think so, 85. First one, right? Anyway, she says, and the Lord is calling 2 ladies here to come to Medjugorje with me. Our lady's calling you. And my heart started pounding like this. And I go, I can't go anywhere because it's my anniversary, October 3rd. I can't go anywhere. And I knew I was being called. I'm like, this was where my sister was. And she's looking at me like, it's us, it's us. So that was our first trip to Medjugorje. And what was Mary Newell's husband's name? Tom Newell?
Mary Newell's husband?
Mary Newell's husband.
Mike Newell.
Mike Newell. I said, oh, I'd like my mother to come to Medjugorje too. And he says, well, we can bring her, we can take her. And I said, no, she's in a wheelchair and she's heavy and I don't think she's going to be able to make it. He said, we'll get her in the back of the plane, we'll get her there. Well, my mother was excited about going, but she just knew she couldn't handle it. So my mother gave the ticket and the fare to her sister Eleanor, which is Patricia's mother. So her mother came to Medjugorje with us, and it was a beautiful experience. And we saw the sun dancing and changing colors, and we were just so touched. I came back a different person. I came back with peace, and Medjugorje, peace. Right? Maureen? Right? Anyway, it was just a beautiful experience. So after that, then Barbara had a retreat in Plano for Christmas, a Christmas retreat. And at that time, I think you had 2 or 3 a year, right, Barbara? Yeah, so we went to the retreat, and it was beautiful with mass and adoration and talks. Anyway, on the retreat, she called out a healing of headaches and migraines and sinus problems. And I didn't know I got healed at the time, but I never got another migraine after that. My migraines were very bad. I ended up in the hospital a couple times. I had sinus problems like 3 or 4 days at a time every month. I got completely healed. I very seldom even get a headache. So complete healing for that. Later on, a few years later, I had to go to the hospital for some female problems, and a doctor took an ultrasound of my kidneys, and he says, you only have 1 kidney functioning. And I looked at him, and he says, yeah, 1 kidney's dried up. But you have 1, and that's fine. My wife is 70 years old, and she only has 1 kidney. Just drink a gallon of water every day. Thank you. So anyway, a few years later, we had a service, and Barbara called out healings for kidneys and lung problems and all kinds of problems. Anyway, shortly after that, I went back to the doctor. I had to have a hysterectomy. So I told the doctor I only have 1 kidney, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, we're going to take an ultrasound. We're going to see what's going on. Took the ultrasound, and I saw both kidneys functioning. Now, how can anybody get healed of a dried up bean? So it's just such a beautiful healing. And so throughout the years, I've just prayed for so many requests and so many intentions. And my children, little by little, they're all coming back to church. I was telling my cousin today that every morning they're sending script messages to each other on the phone, not text messages, and they didn't even go to church before. My 2 daughters, my 2 daughter-in-laws went on a retreat for the weekend. Like, huh? Wow, they're getting touched, you know, so they're all really into it right now. They're sending messages back and forth about God and the Holy Spirit and all that. So again, God is hearing my prayers. But the reason why I came up here today, I got carried away a little bit. I had so much to talk about. I came up here today because the last service I came to in June, I couldn't come after that because I had a little surgery and we went on a trip. But the last service I came, Barbara was praying over me, and I have back and neck problems, so I was telling Barbara that I don't like taking these drugs anymore. I feel like I'm going to get addicted to them. I got to the point where I have to take 2 hydrocodones a day. They're so bad, and I can't do without them, and I have to take 1 before I go to Mass in the morning, otherwise I wouldn't make it. And then later on in the afternoon, I started taking the second one. And Barbara looked at me, she said, Mary Lou, don't take them again. They're bad for you. Don't take them again. I rested in the Spirit. I haven't taken one since.
Praise.
I don't want to keep all day. I keep talking and everything else. But what I do want to say is, if you people have not had your home enthroned yet, don't pass it up. It's the most beautiful ceremony. It's so beautiful because the messengers come to the home and they dedicate Mary, Immaculate Queen, and Sacred Heart of Jesus. They enthrone her in your home, which means that they're with you all the time, and you're giving them the keys to your heart. It's just a beautiful ceremony, and it's very biblical, and it's great. And you just feel that you know that they're there with you all the time. So don't pass up the opportunity of having your home enthroned. And I just thank Mary, Immaculate Queen, and Jesus for Barbara's loyalty and her love for Jesus and her love for the Blessed Mother. And she's taught us so much all these years. I've been coming to her since 32 years or something like that. And I call her Rabboni. She's taught me so much. So anyway, I thank you, Barbara. Thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for your love. Thank you, Mary. I'm sorry.
Amen.